Hello everyone. Welcome back to Naruto Fix. Today we have another interesting what if Naruto story, which is what if Naruto found out Kurenai Yuhi was stronger than anyone knew. Part -1. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this content. Now, without wasting any time, let's begin. The first person to discover the truth was not Naruto. It was Itachi Uchiha, and he never told anyone. Years before the Fourth Great Ninja War. Years before Naruto became Hokage. Years before the world learned about Otsutsuki. A young Itachi had been given a simple mission. Observe Konoha's elite Jonin. Analyze threats. Prepare reports. Routine work. Until he watched Kurenai Yuhi train alone. And suddenly, the future Uchiha prodigy stopped writing. Because what he witnessed made no sense. Genjutsu wasn't merely being cast. Reality itself appeared confused. Trees moved where they shouldn't. Birds flew backward. Shadows detached from their owners. Even Itachi's Sharingan struggled to understand what it was seeing. For the first and only time in his childhood, Itachi left a report unfinished. One sentence remained written. Kurenai Yuhi is hiding something. Then he burned the report. Nobody ever saw it again. Years later, the 7th Hokage's office. What? Naruto blinked. Then blinked again. Across from him sat Kurenai calmly drinking tea. Like she hadn't just said something completely insane. Naruto pointed at her. Can you repeat that? Kurenai sighed softly. I said someone broke into my family vault. Silence. Naruto frowned. You have a family vault? Yes. Since when? Since forever. The room became quiet, because honestly, nobody knew Kurenai had a family vault. Not the Anbu, not the Hokage records, not even Shikamaru. Nearby, Shikamaru Nara slowly lowered a folder. That's impossible. Kurenai nodded. Exactly. Naruto leaned forward. Okay. He pointed dramatically. Today has already been weird. So let's continue. What family vault? Kurenai remained silent briefly, then softly answered. The Yuhi archive. The atmosphere changed instantly, because suddenly, even Shikamaru looked uncomfortable. Naruto immediately noticed. You know what that is. Shikamaru sighed. Only rumors. Silence. Then quieter. A hidden archive older than Konoha itself. Naruto froze. What? Kurenai calmly sipped her tea. The stories are exaggerated. How old? About 400 years. Naruto immediately stood. No. Kurenai shrugged. Yes. Honestly. This was becoming concerning. The Hokage stared at her. Then pointed again. You've been keeping a 400-year-old secret library and never mentioned it. Kurenai raised an eyebrow. You never asked. Honestly. Fair. Then suddenly, Naruto noticed something strange. Kurenai wasn't angry, wasn't worried. She seemed annoyed, like someone had interrupted an important nap. The reaction felt wrong. If someone broke into a secret archive, most people would panic. Kurenai looked mildly inconvenienced. Naruto narrowed his eyes. What was inside? Silence. Then quietly. Records. What kind? More silence. Kurenai slowly placed her teacup down. Then looked directly at Naruto. And for one brief second, Naruto felt something. Pressure. Ancient pressure. Gone immediately. But real. Then she answered. Records of people stronger than the 5 Kage. The room froze. Naruto blinked. Excuse me. Shikamaru froze too. Because nobody laughed. Kurenai wasn't joking. The Jonin instructor folded her arms. My clan tracked dangerous shinobi for centuries. The office suddenly felt colder. People erased from history. Naruto frowned. Why? Kurenai's expression darkened slightly. Because some abilities were too dangerous to exist publicly. Silence. Then Naruto asked the obvious question. And someone stole these records. Yes. The room became very quiet. Naruto slowly sat back down. His instincts screamed that something wasn't adding up. Then finally, he asked, "Why come to me?" Kurenai's eyes narrowed slightly, because she knew. She knew exactly why Naruto was suspicious. Then softly, she answered, "Because whoever entered the archive only stole one file." Silence. Naruto waited. Kurenai waited. Then Shikamaru groaned. Which file?" The Jonin instructor looked directly at them. Then quietly said, "My file." The world stopped. Naruto stared. Your file." Yes. Silence. Why would there be a file on you?" Kurenai didn't answer immediately, and somehow, that scared Naruto more. Then quietly, she whispered, "Because my clan considered me a threat." The room froze. Naruto laughed, a nervous laugh. "Okay. No, seriously." Kurenai remained expressionless, which made it much worse. Shikamaru slowly rubbed his temples. Kurenai. Yes. How dangerous are we talking? The Jonin instructor looked toward the office window. Sunlight drifted across her red eyes. Then she quietly answered, "My father believed I could destroy Konoha accidentally." Silence. Absolute silence. Naruto stood up immediately. "Nope. No. Absolutely not." He pointed aggressively. "You were the genjutsu teacher. You taught children. You went grocery shopping." Kurenai nodded. "Correct." Naruto looked horrified. "You can't just casually reveal village-destroying potential after 20 years. Honestly. Valid complaint." Then suddenly, the office lights flickered. Once, twice, 3 times. Everyone froze. Because there was no reason for that. Kurenai's expression changed instantly. For the first time all day. She looked concerned. Not afraid. Concerned. Then quietly whispered, "They're already here." Naruto frowned sharply. "Who?" The lights went out. Complete darkness swallowed the office. And from somewhere inside the shadows, a voice echoed softly, "We finally found the red dream." Kurenai slowly closed her eyes. Then sighed. The kind of sigh someone makes after avoiding a problem for 20 years. And when she opened her eyes again, Naruto froze. Because her red irises weren't red anymore. They were glowing gold, like twin suns burning inside the darkness. And for the first time since becoming Hokage, Naruto sensed something from Kurenai Yuhi that he had never felt before. Not chakra, not killing intent, something much worse. A power she had spent her entire life pretending didn't exist. And suddenly, Naruto understood why her clan kept a file on her. Because Kurenai Yuhi wasn't hiding strength. She was hiding an entire nightmare. The Hokage office vanished. Not physically. Not destroyed. Gone. One moment Naruto stood beside his desk. The next, he stood inside an endless red forest beneath a black sky. Silence surrounded everything. No wind. No sound. No life. Just crimson trees stretching infinitely in every direction. Naruto Uzumaki froze. Okay. He pointed at the forest. "This is definitely genjutsu." Nearby, Shikamaru Nara appeared beside him, looking equally confused. I hate this already." A familiar voice echoed behind them. "No." Kurenai Yuhi slowly stepped between the crimson trees. Golden eyes glowing softly now. "This isn't genjutsu." Silence. Naruto blinked. What? The forest stretched endlessly behind her. Reality itself seemed unstable, like the world couldn't decide what shape it wanted. Then Kurenai quietly answered, "It's a dreamscape." The atmosphere became colder instantly. Naruto frowned. Difference. Kurenai looked toward the black sky. Then softly replied, "Genjutsu tricks the mind." Silence. "This place exists." The words hit harder than expected. Because suddenly, Naruto sensed it too. The forest felt real. Too real. The trees carried chakra. The ground carried memories. Even the air felt alive somehow. Shikamaru's expression darkened. Impossible. Kurenai shook her head slowly. My clan specialized in dream release. Naruto froze. Quote. Dream release. Quote. The Jonin instructor nodded. A forgotten Kekkei Genkei. The crimson forest trembled softly around them. Genjutsu manipulates perception. Her golden eyes narrowed. Dream release manipulates possibility. Quote. The world stopped. Naruto stared blankly. Quote. Those words should not be allowed together. Honestly. Fair. Then suddenly, the shadows between the trees moved. Whoosh. Dark figures emerged silently. Tall. Faceless. Wearing ancient black robes. Naruto immediately entered Kurama mode. Golden chakra erupted around him. But the figures didn't react. Didn't attack. Didn't even acknowledge him. Instead, they stared directly at Kurenai. The lead figure stepped forward. Then quietly whispered, "The red dream has awakened." Kurenai sighed. The exhausted sigh of someone dealing with the same problem for decades. 22 years. Silence. I avoided you people for 22 years. The faceless figure remained still. We know. Naruto immediately pointed. Okay. Who are these creepy people? The lead figure slowly turned toward him. And for one horrifying second, Naruto realized it didn't have a face. Just darkness. Infinite darkness. Then softly, it answered. We are dream walkers. The forest shuddered violently. We maintain balance. Quote. Shikamaru groaned. Quote. Of course you do. Honestly, he was getting really tired of secret organizations. Then suddenly, Kurenai stepped forward. Her golden eyes burned brighter. You shouldn't be here. Quote. The faceless figures became still. Then one of them quietly replied. Neither should you. Silence crushed the forest. And suddenly, Naruto noticed something strange. The dream walkers weren't threatening Kurenai. They were afraid of her. Subtly. Instinctively. Like prey standing near a predator. The realization made his stomach twist. Because if people capable of creating pocket realities feared Kurenai, that was a problem. A very large problem. Then suddenly, the black sky cracked. Boom. The entire dreamscape shook violently. Crimson leaves exploded through the air. The dream walkers instantly turned upward. Fear spread through them immediately. Real fear. Kurenai's face lost color. Quote. No. Naruto frowned. What now? The Jonin instructor stared at the crack spreading across the heavens. Then quietly whispered. He found me. Silence. Then something looked through the crack. An eye. Massive. Ancient. Golden. Watching the dreamscape. Watching Kurenai. The dream walkers immediately stepped backward. One whispered. The Sleeper King. The forest began dying instantly. Trees withered. Ground cracked. The dreamscape itself started collapsing. Naruto stared upward. Quote. Who? Kurenai's voice trembled slightly. For the first time, ever, the man my clan sealed. The world stopped. Naruto slowly turned toward her. Quote. Excuse me. The giant eye blinked once. And suddenly, millions of memories flooded through the dreamscape. Ancient wars. Burning nations. Entire civilizations trapped inside dreams forever. The eye remained fixed on Kurenai. Then a voice echoed from beyond reality itself. Ancient. Calm. Terrifying. Little dreamer. Silence crushed everything. The voice continued softly. You should have stayed hidden. Kurenai's golden eyes narrowed. And for the first time, Naruto felt her chakra completely. Not Jonin level. Not Cage level. Something else. Something monstrous. The crimson forest exploded outward. Boom. Entire mountains appeared around them instantly. Oceans. Cities. Stars. Thousands of dream realities materialized simultaneously. The dream walkers fell to one knee. Terrified. Because Kurenai wasn't creating illusions. She was creating worlds. Naruto stared blankly. Quote. What? Kurenai looked upward toward the giant eye. Then quietly said the sentence that changed everything. My father wasn't afraid I'd destroy Konoha. Silence. Golden light erupted from her body. The dreamscape trembled violently. And Naruto finally understood why her clan kept a file on her. Because Kurenai Yuhi wasn't stronger than the 5 Kage. She wasn't stronger than Naruto. She wasn't even stronger than the tailed beasts. She possessed something much worse. The ability to turn dreams into reality. And somewhere beyond the broken sky, the only person in history who ever mastered that power completely, had finally awakened. The dreamscape was dying, and it wasn't because of the giant eye. It was because reality itself couldn't handle what was waking up. Crimson forests shattered into fragments. Mountains appeared and disappeared every second. Entire oceans formed in the sky before collapsing into stars. The laws of existence had stopped working. And standing calmly in the center of the chaos, Kurenai Yuhi finally looked nothing like the Jonin Naruto knew. Her golden eyes burned like miniature suns. Dream energy flowed around her body. And every emotion she felt became reality instantly. Fear created storms. Anger created earthquakes. Sadness caused entire worlds to fade. Naruto Uzumaki stared blankly. You taught academy students. Kurenai blinked. Yes. Naruto pointed aggressively. You cannot be a secret reality warping god and also grade homework. Honestly. Valid complaint. Nearby, Shikamaru Nara looked spiritually defeated. Again, this village has serious hiring problems. The giant golden eye beyond the broken sky watched silently. Then, the crack across reality widened. WHOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOO two. A hand. Massive. Ancient. Human-shaped. Yet clearly not human. Every dream walker immediately fell to both knees. Terrified. One whispered. The Sleeper King rises. Silence crushed the dreamscape. Naruto frowned. Okay. He pointed upward. I need somebody to explain who keeps naming these people. No answer came. Because suddenly, Kurenai looked afraid. Not concerned. Not worried. Afraid. And that honestly terrified Naruto more than the giant hand. The crimson-haired Jonin stared upward silently. Then quietly whispered, he shouldn't exist. The hand continued emerging from the crack. Followed by an arm, a shoulder, a body. Every movement distorted existence around it. Dreams became reality. Reality became dreams. The difference no longer mattered. Finally, the figure stepped fully into the dreamscape. And everything stopped. Silence. Absolute silence. Because he looked normal. No cosmic armor. No glowing eyes. No monstrous appearance. Just a man. Tall. White-haired. Ancient. Wearing simple black robes. The kind of man Naruto would have ignored walking down a street. Which somehow made him much scarier. The Sleeper King slowly opened his eyes. Golden. Identical to Kurenai's. Then he smiled. And every dream walker immediately started trembling. Little dreamer. His voice sounded gentle, warm, kind, which honestly felt worse. Kurenai stepped forward. Golden dream energy exploded around her. You should still be sealed. The Sleeper King nodded calmly. I was. Silence. Then his smile widened slightly. Until somebody stole your file. The world stopped. Naruto froze. Shikamaru froze. Even Kurenai froze. Because suddenly, everything connected. The stolen archive. The broken vault. The dream walkers. All of it. The file wasn't stolen to learn about Kurenai. It was stolen to find her. The Sleeper King slowly raised one hand. And an image appeared in the air. A masked figure. Unknown. Hidden. Standing inside the Yuhi archive. The same thief. Then the image changed, showing the thief opening Kurenai's file. Reading one specific page. A page marked. The final seal. Kurenai's face lost color. No. The Sleeper King nodded. Yes. The dreamscape shook violently. The seal required two things. His golden eyes narrowed. My prison. Then he pointed toward Kurenai. And my successor. Silence crushed everything. Naruto slowly turned. Successor. The Sleeper King looked toward Kurenai fondly. Like a teacher observing a student. Then softly answered. The strongest dream user born in 800 years. The dream walkers lowered their heads immediately. Not out of respect. Fear. Pure fear. The Sleeper King continued. Your clan feared your potential. Reality bent around Kurenai slightly. Your father feared your potential. Mountains appeared and vanished. Even I feared your potential. The entire dreamscape froze. Because suddenly, everyone understood. The Sleeper King wasn't the strongest dream user. Kurenai was. She always had been. The only reason disaster never happened was because she spent her entire life suppressing herself. Then suddenly, Naruto remembered something. Every mission, every battle, every war, Kurenai was always absent from the biggest fights. Always somewhere else. Always conveniently unavailable. At the time, everyone assumed bad luck. Now, Naruto realized the truth. They kept her away intentionally. The village wasn't protecting Kurenai. They were protecting reality. The Sleeper King slowly looked toward Naruto. Then unexpectedly laughed. Now I understand. Naruto frowned. Understand what? The ancient man smiled. Why she likes this village. Silence. Then he pointed toward Naruto. You. Naruto blinked. Me. The Sleeper King nodded. For 20 years she restrained herself. The dreamscape darkened. Yet she remained because she believed in people. Then quieter. Because she believed in you. Kurenai immediately looked away, which honestly confirmed everything. Naruto pointed dramatically. Oh, no. We are not unpacking emotions during a reality apocalypse. Too late. The Sleeper King laughed softly. Then his expression became serious. Instantly. And the dreamscape trembled. Because the terrifying truth finally arrived. I didn't come for Kurenai. Silence. Naruto's smile vanished. The Sleeper King slowly turned toward him. Golden eyes ancient beyond measure. Then quietly whispered, I came for the thing hidden inside your dreams. The world stopped. Naruto froze. What? The Sleeper King's gaze deepened. And suddenly, for the first time, Naruto felt genuine shock from Kurenai. Real shock. The ancient dream master pointed directly at Naruto. Then softly spoke the sentence that changed everything. The Nine Tails isn't the strongest thing sleeping inside your mind. The dreamscape fell completely silent. The Nine Tails isn't the strongest thing sleeping inside your mind. The words echoed across shattered realities. Crimson forests stopped moving. Dream oceans froze. Even the collapsing sky seemed to pause. And for the first time since entering this nightmare, Naruto Uzumaki didn't have a joke. Because suddenly, everyone reacted. Not just him. Kurenai Yuhi froze. The Dream Walkers froze. Even the ancient Sleeper King became unusually serious. And that terrified Naruto. Slowly, very slowly, he turned inward. Toward the mental world. Toward the place where Kurama lived. The giant fox stood motionless. Golden eyes narrowed. Silent. Naruto's stomach twisted. Kurama. No answer. Kurama. The Nine Tails finally spoke. Quietly. Far too quietly. I hoped he was wrong. The dreamscape instantly exploded. Boom. Naruto's eyes widened. What? The Sleeper King slowly closed his eyes. Then sighed. The exhausted sigh of someone watching history repeat itself. Then it's true. Kurenai immediately stepped forward. No. Her dream chakra surged violently. That's impossible. The ancient dream master looked toward her. Then softly answered. No. The impossible part is that it remained asleep this long. Silence crushed reality. Naruto stared blankly. Because suddenly, he remembered. The strange dreams. The weird feelings during childhood. The moments where reality itself seemed to bend around him. Things he always ignored. Things everyone ignored. Then suddenly, the dreamscape cracked. Not from the Sleeper King. Not from Kurenai. From Naruto. A giant fracture spread across existence itself. The Sleeper King's expression changed immediately. Fear. Real fear. Too late. Naruto frowned sharply. What's too late? Kurama roared. Do not think about it. Think about what? Anything. Honestly, that was not helpful. Then suddenly, a memory surfaced. Tiny. Ancient. Forgotten. Naruto saw himself as a child. 4 years old, standing alone on a swing. Nothing unusual, except, the memory didn't end. A shadow sat beside him, watching quietly, a silhouette, featureless, patient. The child Naruto couldn't see it, but adult Naruto could, and the moment he did, the shadow looked back. The dreamscape shattered. WHOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOO exploded into dust. Entire dream worlds vanished. The Sleeper King immediately stepped backward. Kurenai's golden eyes widened. No. Naruto grabbed his head. Pain erupted through every nerve. Because suddenly, millions of sealed memories began surfacing. Not Kurama's memories. Not his own. Someone else's. Ancient cities. Dead stars. Dreams stretching across universes. A being sleeping between realities. Watching existence evolve. Waiting. Always waiting. The Sleeper King whispered. The first dream. Silence. Absolute silence. Kurenai's face lost all color. That's a myth. The ancient man shook his head slowly. No. Then quietly. We made it a myth. The dreamscape trembled violently. Because now, everyone understood. The strongest dream user in history wasn't the Sleeper King. Wasn't Kurenai. Wasn't anyone. Something older existed. Something so dangerous entire civilizations erased it from memory. Naruto staggered. What is it? The Sleeper King looked directly at him. Then softly answered. The thing that creates dreams. The world stopped. Naruto blinked. Excuse me. The ancient dream master pointed toward Naruto's chest. It has been sleeping inside you since birth. Silence. Kurenai immediately shook her head. Impossible. The Sleeper King looked toward her sadly. Then explain why reality bends around him. No answer came. Because honestly, everyone had noticed. The impossible victories. The broken prophecies. The futures that refused to happen. The way destiny seemed to malfunction near Naruto. The Sleeper King continued quietly. People believed he changed fate through willpower. The dreamscape darkened. That was only part of the truth. Naruto slowly stepped backward. No. The ancient man nodded once. Yes. Then suddenly, the broken sky above the dreamscape opened. Not cracked. Opened. And something stared down. Not an eye. Not a face. A dream. A living dream. Infinite. Endless. Impossible to describe. Everyone immediately fell silent. Even the Sleeper King. Even Kurenai. Even the Dream Walkers. Because every dream user throughout history knew one terrifying fact. The first dream was not alive. It was dreaming. And reality existed inside that dream. Then, for the first time, the impossible presence focused on Naruto. Silence crushed existence. And a voice echoed through every dream that ever existed. Gentle. Ancient. Almost curious. Little dream. Naruto froze completely. Because somehow, the voice sounded familiar. Like something he'd heard all his life. Then the presence asked one simple question. The question that made the Sleeper King look horrified. The question that made Kurenai's dream chakra explode uncontrollably. The question that changed everything. Have you finally decided to wake up? The dreamscape died. Not shattered. Not destroyed. Died. The crimson forests dissolved into ash. The black sky unraveled. Entire dream worlds collapsed into streams of fading light. And for the first time since this nightmare began, nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Nobody even breathed. Because the question still echoed across existence. Have you finally decided to wake up? Naruto Uzumaki stood frozen. His mind felt strangely empty. Not because he lacked an answer. Because part of him already knew the question. Like he had heard it before. Thousands of times. Millions. Across countless forgotten dreams. The feeling terrified him. Nearby, Kurenai Yuhi immediately moved. Golden dream chakra erupted around her. More power than Naruto had ever sensed from any human. Reality bent. Worlds formed and died around her. And yet, she wasn't attacking. She was terrified. Kneel. The command shocked everyone. Naruto blinked. What? Kurenai's golden eyes never left the impossible presence above. Kneel. The Sleeper King immediately obeyed. Without hesitation. Without argument. The ancient Dream Master dropped to one knee instantly. Every Dream Walker followed. Thousands of them. All kneeling. Fear radiated from them. Raw. Primal. Ancient. Naruto stared blankly. Okay. He pointed at the kneeling immortals. This is concerning. Honestly. Massive understatement. Then suddenly, Kurama appeared beside him. Not inside the seal. Beside him. The giant fox materialized within the collapsing dreamscape. And immediately lowered his head. Naruto froze. Because Kurama never bowed. To anyone. Ever. Kurama. The Nine Tails spoke quietly. The quietest Naruto had ever heard him. Do not look directly at it. Silence. Naruto's stomach dropped. Because suddenly, he realized nobody was calling the presence a monster. Or a god. Or an enemy. They were treating it like a natural disaster. An unavoidable fact of existence. Then the voice echoed again. Gentle. Curious. You have grown. The words were directed only at Naruto. The impossible presence shifted slightly. And suddenly, Naruto saw something. Not a body. Not a face. A sleeping child. Floating among infinite stars. Dreaming. The sight lasted less than a second. Then vanished. Naruto frowned sharply. What are you? The dreamscape trembled. The Sleeper King immediately looked horrified. Because apparently, asking that question was a terrible idea. Yet the presence answered. A dream. Silence. Naruto blinked. That doesn't help. Unexpectedly, the impossible being laughed. A warm laugh. Almost amused. And somehow, that frightened everyone more. The presence continued. Before stars existed, the remains of the dreamscape drifted slowly around them. Before time, reality itself seemed to listen. I dreamed. Silence crushed existence. The Sleeper King lowered his head further. The Dream Walkers visibly trembled. And Naruto finally understood. The stories were wrong. The first dream wasn't a creature. It wasn't a god. It was the source. The origin of dreaming itself. Then suddenly, Naruto noticed something strange. The presence wasn't looking at anyone else. Only him. Always him. Like the others barely existed. Then the voice softly asked. Do you remember now? Naruto frowned. Remember what? Instantly, millions of memories exploded through his mind. Whoom. Naruto screamed. Not from pain. From impossibility. He saw worlds. Countless worlds. Different realities. Different timelines. Different Narutos. Some became Hokage. Some died young. Some never met Sasuke. Some destroyed Konoha. Some ruled nations. Infinite possibilities. And every single one shared something. Dreams. The same dreams. The same strange shadow sitting beside a lonely child. The same unseen companion. Always watching. Always waiting. The presence whispered softly. I protected you. The world stopped. Naruto froze. Because suddenly, he remembered. Not clearly, but enough. Every time he should have died. Every impossible survival. Every broken prophecy. Every future that refused to happen. Something always intervened. Not visibly. Not directly. Subtly. Like reality itself wanted him alive. The Sleeper King stared in horror. Impossible. Kurenai slowly whispered. He was never changing destiny. Silence. Her golden eyes widened. Destiny was changing for him. The realization hit like lightning. Because suddenly, everything made sense. The prophecies. The impossible victories. The endless coincidences. The unbelievable luck. Naruto wasn't special because he defeated fate. Fate avoided him. Then suddenly, the first dream moved. Not physically. Conceptually. And existence shook. Entire dimensions flickered. The stars dimmed. Dreams across every world stopped for one brief moment. The presence softly whispered. You were lonely. Silence. So I stayed. Naruto felt his chest tighten. Because somehow, those words hurt. More than any battle. More than any enemy. Then slowly, the impossible being asked, "Are you still lonely?" The dreamscape became silent. Naruto looked downward. Thought about everything. His friends. His family. Hinata. Boruto. The village. The people who stood beside him. Then softly, he smiled. No. Silence. The first dream became still. Then, for the first time, it sounded happy. A gentle happiness. Ancient beyond words. Good. The sleeping child among the stars slowly closed its eyes again. Reality began stabilizing. The dreamscape stopped collapsing. The sleeper king looked confused. Kurenai looked confused. Even Kurama looked confused. Because something impossible was happening. The first dream was leaving. The ancient presence whispered one final sentence. Only for Naruto. Then you no longer need me. The stars brightened. Dreams resumed. Reality healed. And slowly, the impossible presence faded back into sleep, returning to wherever it existed before existence. Silence followed. Long silence. Then suddenly, the dreamscape shattered completely. WHOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOO world, sunlight, walls, normality. For several seconds, nobody spoke. Finally, Shikamaru broke the silence. Quote, Did anyone else just experience cosmic emotional trauma? Honestly, fair. Across the room, Kurenai sat heavily in a chair, looking exhausted, human again. Her eyes were red once more, the golden light gone. Then she slowly looked toward Naruto, and whispered the sentence that ended everything. My clan spent 800 years searching for the strongest dream user in history. Quote, silence. Then she smiled weakly. Turns out it wasn't me. Naruto immediately pointed. No, we are never discussing this again. Honestly, after everything that happened, that was probably the healthiest